Hey everyone, welcome to this video. The main purpose for this video is to give a few feedback of one of the solution that's done by one of the classmates. And right now we are looking at project one, so credibility score, project one. And most students have already submitted deliverable one. So previously I made a comment of another student solution. I thought it's pretty good. Today I'm going to give one more comment. And I want to use today's video as an opportunity to help you guys understand what deliverable 2 can be, right? So deliverable 2 is talking about a detailed technical report. And I think what this student set up, it's in a perfect shape to finish that technical report. I want to make it clear that technical report is meant to be the technical discussion to bring out new ideas, right? It's not just about criticizing or make critiques or say something is wrong. It's going to be the key essence of this technical report is to bring out new ideas so that you can make a full implementation in the next deliverable, which is deliverable 3. And deliverable 3, you're gonna implement this in a chatbot, right? But in order for you to get there, you need to understand what exactly it is that you are doing, right? You need to understand that the function that you're writing is clear and the logic is clear. So with that being said, let me take you to this student solution here. That's the link. And first of all, I want to say this is not a critique, right? This is a well-written solution. And I'm just giving feedback on what can be improved, right? So that's the key theme of today's video. First things first, he created a data set. Great, right? These are artificial data, perfectly fine. And then their scores, right? Perfectly fine. So I think one thing that's starting off, he starts by building the data, right? Perfectly fine, save it. I think all that's valid, right? And then here, I think he's setting up random seed. I think one interesting thing here is this random seed, it's actually on the score, right? This random seed actually doesn't have impact on the sentences, right? So if you think about uh, the coding in terms of the nature of Python, this is np.randomc, right? So np.randomc, it's taking effect on the NumPy package, which is this line of code, right? This sentences, which is an array of string, actually does not have the impact of NumPy, right? There's no np dot here, right? This is just an array. So that's something to realize. And the random score actually is only taking effect of this vector, right? That's just something to realize. Um, Now, that being said, I'm not saying that you have to make this random. I'm just saying that the random seed actually has no impact on your features, right? However you convert this sentences into features, the random seed actually is not applied on that. Something like that is to be worried about. And then obviously that goes into the technical report. A technical report, I just meant these comments. That's really it, right? I'm not asking you guys to write a paper. It's just the comments that's about the key caveat, the edge cases regarding your code, right? And it's meant to inspire ideas. Okay, so we have the data that's here. It's in the data frame, right? Good job, right? That's how you get things started. You have a data. Okay, so now you use TF-IDF, perfectly fine. And then stop words English, maximum features 100, and then you transform your data, right? And the data here, it's the sentences. That's the column being defined here on line 74, right? Very clear. This is very clearly written. And the sentences are coming from here, right? Makes perfect sense to me. I think this code is very well written. So now we're talking about creating features, right? These are numerical features, numerical representations of the sentence, right? So in order to get the idea flowing, I think certainly TF-IDF vectorization is a good way to go. But of course, it's not the only way to go, right? Certainly there are other packages, the n-grams or bigrams, right? That's one package you can use to convert this to convert the sentences into X, right? Which is the matrix, right? It could also be domain specific, right? You could come up with rules, right? So in some way, this X is arbitrarily chosen and it's completely dependent on this package, right? So line 79 and line 80, certainly there can be other approaches to basically make this more complicated, right? Make it more fancy, make it more complicated, things like that. And something like that can definitely go into your technical report, right? I'm not saying that the student did it wrong. I actually think the student did it perfectly well. I'm just using this opportunity to say, to give you guys an example that this is what should be going into the technical report, because I want to see you guys think about what's good, what's bad about your code. I want you guys to think about how do you go above and beyond about your code. And if you're able to explain the good and bad about your code, then I think that will serve as the second deliverable, right? Because you need that idea to do it in another round of iteration. And that goes into the deliverable 3, right? So deliverable 2 is extremely crucial. It helps you think about your code from a Python perspective, from coding perspective, from data science perspective, and even just from business perspective, right? That's why we're here. So let's continue, right? These are the features. And then boom, right? Train test split, right? Perfect, right? This solution is highly tailored to data science. So even without me teaching the student is already start thinking like a data scientist, right? So fair game, right? Split your data into training and testing. The only thing I would say here is your test set is 20%, and then 20% on this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 20% on 10 sentences, your test set only has 2 samples, right? So I would say one thing you can do is, I don't know, make this into 20 sentences, right? Or 30 sentences, so on and so forth. And the scores correspondingly need to be 20 scores or 30 scores, depending on how many samples you're using in these sentences. So that would be something that I would consider about, just simply because the value here is 0.2, and that probably limits down to just 2 samples. But that's no problem at all. That's why we're here talking about the next deliverable. But I think the solution here is perfectly fine for the first iteration, right? It's perfectly fine. So now we have the setup, right? We have features, we have data, we split it in training, testing, right? We are on the path to do a fantastic job of a data science project. So now this is a standard procedure for a data science project. You have your data, you train the data on one set, right? The training set, and then you test data on the other set, the test set, right? So linear regression, boom, done. Model.fit, boom, done, great job. Model.predict on a test set, boom, done, great job. And then using statistical scores such as R square, and then also such as mean square error to point out what the performance is in terms of how this model is responding, right? Perfect job, right? This is very well written. Kudos to the student. And then in the end, you want to predict the score, right? Amazing work, right? Amazing work. And then the student actually provided 2 examples, and then he actually throw these 2 examples into this function, that the function is customized and tailored to the model that he's trained, right? He's able to actually serve this function and use it down here and then make some sort of inference, right? In the end, you print out a score, right, for sentence and score in the new sentences, and these are new sentences that the data set has not seen before, and he's actually able to make some sort of prediction, so on and so forth. You can also look at the most important words, right? You can also look at the features, so on and so forth. So I think up to here, he could have finished the project already, right? I mean, that's pretty much done, right? You train your model, you have training test set, you have some sort of inference in the end. The project is essentially done. I would say project is pretty much done here, right? But the student actually did a little bit more than what I expected. Like he actually did a cross validation using this linear regression function using X, and he did a 5-fold cross validation. And he's actually picking a score based on R squared, which I think is essentially just a code that's very well written. It's tailored very closely to the mindset of a data scientist. And this shows me the logic of his thinking. And it shows me how he's going from step 1 to pretty much step 20 all in one script. And then in the end, he print the results out and essentially verifies it, right? So good job, right? Altogether, I think I consider this as one of the well done solutions out there. And not only is the solution well done, the solution opens up a lot of doors for you to think about what can go into your technical report, and then how can you put it in your chatbot, right? Because think about it, in your chatbot, you actually don't really need all of it. You just really need this particular function, right? Because in your chatbot, you probably have a couple of things here. You can throw the articles into array or throw sentences into array, transform it, run through this prediction. You're going to get some score back, right? So if you have this Python script as step one, and then you serve this function, and then you throw that function into a chatbot, and the chatbot is running up and live, and this function can run as the conversation is happening, right? Then I consider that a fantastic job done for the first project, right? And this script tells me that the student has thought about these steps every single way, right? Thought about the procedure every single step, right? Step by step, all the way to from collecting data, training model, all the way to inference. And he's at the level that is completely ready to go for the last iteration, which is deliverable 3, right? So well done. Good job. Kudos to you if you're able to write this. And I think this framework can really serve as a good template for students to use, right? Once again, let's recap. You create the data here, you create the data, and then you set up your data frame, vectorize it so you have features, right? Using the train test function to split the data into training set, test set, right? Train your model, great job. And then you want to be able to use the model, right? Use the model means you throw things into a function and you can use the function downstream if you have new data, right? So that's pretty much hitting all of the bars, right? Hitting all the bars. It's a well done solution. And I think it's setting things up for the next step. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.